Hey friends, welcome back. It's Melissa from Maisha, and so lovely to come to you today from my beautiful garden. This garden has been copping the heat for the past couple of weeks. It's been so hot here, and we've been welcoming some much needed rain. So much rain actually that we've had a little bit of flooding here over the last day or two. So it's really quite interesting, isn't it, that as the fire horse year approaches, there's so much water in the atmosphere. Mother Nature's balancing herself, or something's going on to that effect. So let's just take the pulse on what's been happening and how best we might navigate this craziness that's upon us. So, first of all, let me say happy Valentine's Day. What a special day it is today. Venus is in the air and we are celebrating our beloveds with a big, wild, open heart. And I'm sending all of my love to you and your beloveds. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And just 3 days away, just three more days, it's going to be our new moon in Aquarius. So thank goodness for all of this water. And I've got my water feature here, and it reminds me so much of the water bearer, the symbol of Aquarius. And as the new moon is in Aquarius and bringing in this fire horse year, I think it's really potent to take, pause, and recognize how Mother Nature always balances herself, and how the Aquarian message is all about filling our collective cup. For me as an Aquarian, I always, and such a top of mind for me is always the common good for humanity and a better earth, a better life for humanity and our beautiful Gaia, our planet, our Mother Earth. And the humanitarian ideal, or the sentiment behind Aquarius, for me anyway, is a better earth, a better existence for Gaia and her inhabitants. And I think this is all got to do with our new earth that is unfolding right now. So new earth, a better place for humans, a better way for humans to connect to the earth as well, to return to our more sacred roots, our more ceremonial roots, to return to a deeper connection with the elements. I think that's what's being brought to our attention right now, especially here where I'm experiencing a lot of water, a lot of rain, and also this fire that's coming in thick and fast with everything that's happening in the astrology right now. So who are we really, and are we connected to our abilities, our capabilities as human beings? Are we being the best versions of ourselves that we can be? Well, let's ask ourselves. That's something that Maisha is very good at helping us to do, is about taking pause, taking stock, asking ourselves how we are, how we're feeling, what's happening in the ether around us and within us, and what might we need right now. What is something that we can do to really care for ourselves in a more compassionate and open-hearted way? How can we get into our flow state in a better way? Take some time, and as I did this morning in my Maisha practice, I always have my spiritual practice every morning. It always includes some meditation, some yoga, some breathing, some drawing, and tapping in to see what's going on. I have some beautiful soul connection time. And this morning a very important drawing came through for me, and it was this. It was the fact that we are fast approaching this new moon, which also has a Ring of Fire annular eclipse happening at the same time as we're having this new moon. It is also a solar eclipse, annular solar eclipse, the Ring of Fire eclipse. And what's a Ring of Fire eclipse, you might ask? Well, and I'll get back to my drawing in a minute. I'll just explain what an annular eclipse is. How am I going to explain this? So at the moment, the moon is further away, almost at its apogee, which is the furthest point in its elliptical orbit around. So with it being so far away, the sun therefore, which the moon is passing between the earth and the sun, when the moon passes in between and it's as far away as it is, it appears smaller than it would normally, And so therefore we are able to see still this ring of fire, the brilliant circular shape of the sun around the outsider silhouette of the moon. And that's what gives that beautiful fiery ring of fire effect that we're seeing at this annular eclipse. That's what an annular eclipse really is when the moon's far enough away that it still leaves that brilliant circle of fire around the outside. And what does that bring? Well, it brings themes of passion, clarity, revelation, and all of those epic themes that a fire horse can, you could just imagine, this, and this is what I was getting to with my drawing. I drew this ring of fire with a fire horse coming through the center of that. So it's like the fire ring is like a portal that's welcoming the fire horse year in. And at the same time, we have this beautiful symbol of Aquarius. We're in the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the water bearer. And I have here behind me the water urn. And isn't it interesting how with all of this rain happening at the moment where I'm living, we have this sign of the water bearer, this sign of humanity becoming more connected to who we really are, and being better people, and being more connected to our needs and the needs of our fellow humankind, and the needs of our planet too. So it's almost as though this fire horse year is bringing in this very strong message that we need to be astute about these things. And the new moon is a great time to begin new things. So let's make a pledge. Let's all join forces together and really start to envision this new moon, this new earth becoming, and this better upgraded version of humanity. Wow, how exciting. And so we've got this fire horse, we've got this polarity of the Aquarian and the water and the fire. And what does that bring up in you? Because oftentimes, this fiery energy, this firecracker, big energy that's coming in is bringing in a lot of high energy, a lot of fast energy. And the fire horse, we can just imagine the fire horse running and raging with this fire flowing out around it. It's very fast, very energizing, and maybe even to the point where it's a bit too much for some of us, especially us sensitives. And so it's nice then to tap into, I think, the cooling, calming effect of the water bearer symbol that is Aquarius, that's accompanying this new moon right now. Plenty of water to go round. That big urn that the water bearer carries is there for the collective cup, to fill the collective cup of humanity, I like to say. And if you're in need of cooling down, it's okay to stop and pause and to have an extra drink, have some extra water, maybe take a cool shower, maybe, look after yourself in that way. But also I think it's really important that if you have too much water going on in your lived experience, and when I say too much water, I mean too emotional. If you're sort of sinking in a lot of emotions, maybe a lot of sadness, maybe there's been a lot of tears in your life right now, maybe conversely you need a little bit more fire in your life, a little bit more energy, a little bit more dynamism, a little bit more of the fire horse and less of the water. So isn't it interesting that we can tap into either or and equal amounts of both to better balance ourselves energetically speaking? And I did that in my drawing this morning in my spiritual practice. I drew this beautiful ring of fire, as I said, with the fire horse coming through it. But interestingly, what emerged from my drawing of the circular portal of the ring of fire was a circular urn, just like the one behind me. But the one that I drew, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it, is like an opening where the water flows out, was flowing down out of the mind's eye of the fire horse. It's almost as though the fire horse and the water urn were one. So we can have equal amounts of both. We can have the fire, and we can have the water. And interestingly, Aquarius is an air sign. So we can have equal amounts of air, earth, water, and fire to balance ourselves. And we can do that in drawing. We can bring a little bit more of one element than the other into our creative work, into our expressive work, as we're reflecting on what it is that we need more of and what it is that we need a little less of too. I hope that helps you. There's so much going on with this new moon, this eclipse, this fire horse year beginning. And as well, let's not forget that on the 20th we have the Saturn and Neptune conjunction. Oh my goodness, this is going to bring in even more of what I've been talking about in the last little bit of this video, where humanity has an opportunity, a really beautiful opportunity to step up and upgrade. And you know, Saturn's bringing in new structure. So as it brings in new structure, and Neptune is all about spirituality, and where the spirituality and subconscious, what lies beneath, what is unseen, you know, the spirit realm, what's beyond the veil, where that and structure come together in the sign of Aries, 0 degrees of 44 of Aries. Oh my goodness, we have this really big potential with this fire year to start to enact a new beginning for humanity, a new uprising even of human spirit, a new, renewed and ignited, inspired and really focused vision, a humanitarian, this is Aquarius again, humanitarian vision for a better collective, a common good, you know, a more focused vision of the kind of earth we want to create, a more balanced earth, a more loving earth, a more connected humanity. And connected in the way that we're not just connected to ourselves and what it is that we want, but connected to our soul essence, connected to what lies beyond the veil, Neptune, connected to our fiery and inspired selves that can initiate this change, but also connected to the water bearer, you know, the one who is always looking out for the common good, the interests of the group, the community, rather than just the individual as well. That's a lot to think about. I hope it hasn't been too confusing for you. I'm going to go and get back into my garden and converse with the elements of water and invite the fire horse in as we befriend it. As I talked about in the last video, I think it's really useful to think about that beautiful horse coming in, and I'm really seeing its beautiful eyes closed and its beautiful mind's eye wide open, and I'm just stroking the horse and befriending it, ready to climb on board and to be galloping into this new year with a renewed sense of motivation as a spirit warrior, if you like, but also with time to rest and time to balance things out as well. All right, I'll leave it there, and thank you so much for listening. I really love your support. I'm so appreciative for your likes and for your shares and all of those things to help get the message, the Maisha message out there. It is a privilege and an honor to be producing these videos for you. And blessings. Have a beautiful Valentine's Day. You're important. You should know that. Blessings.